Hello there, it's time again for a Commands and Colors Ancients game, and today we will be playing Panormus 250 BC. So this is the last of the bigger battles of the First Punic Wars, and the city of Panormus is located on the northwestern part of Sicily. So we're back on Sicily again after a few battles. Remember, we had done in North Africa. And last was the Battle of Bagradas, which thanks to the Greek mercenary general Xanthippus, the Carthaginians were able to expel the Romans from Africa, and by that they could again move the focus to Sicily, where I guess the Carthaginians are more happy to wage war than on mainland Africa, close to their home city. So we're back there, and we are seeing an Carthaginian army led by Hasdrubal attacking the city of Panormus. Or well, not really attacking the city, but attacking the Roman forces close by, at least. Because what happened since Bagradas is that Hasdrubal has really become a real veteran general here, because he learned a lot from Xanthippus when he organized and did orchestrate the Battle of Bagradas, basically, and so he watched and learned. He also had done some campaigning between the Battle of Bagradas and the Battle of Panormus, where there have been some Libyan uprisings and stuff. So he has been campaigning there against rebels, and again learned a lot. So he's probably was a pretty experienced general at this point of time. He has been on the field for many years now, and of course, that's really one interesting thing between the generals of the two armies. I mean, between the Romans and the Carthaginians, for instance, because a Carthaginian general who was successful, he could be a general for a longer time, but the Romans, using this consular thing where they usually only got command and imperium for 1 year, then they were replaced, and they come another, probably or perhaps inexperienced consul leading an army. Those guys are really politicians, even though it's known that to be a consul or a high-rate politician in Rome, you had to have some campaigning experience within the Roman army. Anyway, that was a side story to this one, but what I want to say, Hasdrubal is probably quite an experienced general by this time. So the Carthaginians wanted to get the focus to Sicily again, because they had this main goal from the beginning of the First Punic Wars, that they wanted to have control over Sicily and really not letting the Romans in to have a foothold there. And this was way too late for that. The city of Panormus by this time was under Roman control. By the way, the city of Panormus is the same city as today is known Palermo, which is really the largest city on Sicily today. And really old city, also by ancient means, because at least from what we know, when the Phoenicians came to Sicily, they established a good port up there. I think it was named Sis or something like that. Sis, yeah, and they had the trading post there, and later on this became the Carthaginian city. I think also the Greeks had it for some times. I don't really know the history about that, but anyway, the Greeks are important in naming this because, well, the Phoenician called it Sis, and probably the Carthaginians at least started called the city Sis, but the Greek name for the city is Panormos, which means all port. So it was, yeah, that's yet another evidence that it was a really important city. I mean, it was a perfect place to commence trade and, you know, to anchor ships. I mean, all ports. That says something about the quality of that city as a port city. And it was also a good city to defend. Actually, it was a walled city at this time, and actually, I mean, also the Phoenicians built some walls there. There's still some remains of that in the city. But another thing that helped out in the defense of the city, that during this time there were actually two rivers. I think they are not present anymore. Two rivers, you know, around this city, helping it to be easily defendable. So a good stronghold on northwestern Sicily. So Hasdrubal thought by 250, in the summer of 250, that now was a good time to try to get back the city into Carthaginian control, because at the time there were only one consular army present there under Metellus, and the other consular army that were in Sicily was actually at this point marching home to Rome. So there should be around 20,000 Romans here, something like that. And Hasdrubal brought with him, at least what it says here, 25,000 men and 140 elephants. And they have been actually on Sicily for a while now. I think actually for a few years, 2 years. And the Romans have been avoiding them, basically kind of afraid of them after the Battle of Bagdadas, where the elephants and the Carthaginian cavalry really showed their good quality. So the Romans has been keeping to high ground and trying to avoid. And Hasdrubal thought, okay, now's the time. We're gonna attack the city and the consular army around it. Now, Metellus, knowing Hasdrubal were bringing a lot of elephants here, and that was probably what he thought as the main danger to the Roman army. So outside the city, they have built loads of ditches and trenches, and I think that's what's symbolized by these three rampart terrain hexes here. So he hid a lot of light troops in those trenches and kind of provoked the commander of the Elephant Corps here to attack the lighter troops, and they actually did. So the elephants were rushing forward to the lights, who were retreating, and when they reached the trenches, there were loads of hidden troops there, light hidden troops. As you can see here, we have two light bowster and the Velite unit, and I think I read somewhere that the Romans were even using flamed arrows here when the elephants came and fired against them. And that tactic worked because they managed to panic the elephants, right? And they were trampling towards their own lines and creating panic here and disorganization. And at the same time, Metellus had arrayed his army outside the city walls. I think the city walls, I mean, these are not the city walls, these are the trenches. So the city walls should be around here, just outside the map here. So they are marching up here outside the gates of Panormus, and at the same time, when the panic was happening here, they attacked the Carthaginian left, and basically that got too much for them. So they panicked and they routed and fled the field of battle here. And many elephants were killed, and even more, I guess, was captured actually by the Romans. So the Romans sent these poor creatures home to Rome to be slaughtered on the circus, and well, that's the sad story about these, because of course the elephants, as well, they were forced to do this battle. They are not humans, right? So it's a sad story too, that they had to kind of take the revenge from the Romans because of earlier Carthaginian victories. So anyway, this is what happened. So and Hasdrubal of course fled, and he was I am not sure, but I think because he failed, he, as the Carthaginian tradition said, I think at least if it's not Roman and Greek propaganda, Hasdrubal had to go home to be executed, probably crucified for his failure, and he had a successor coming in later on. So there was some more action in Sicily after this, but not with Hasdrubal, I guess. So yeah, I think this is enough for there's some background information here. So let's check out the War Council. So we had the Carthaginian army led by Hasdrubal Hanno. They got 5 command cards. The Romans have Metellus, the consul, and also 5 command cards, and they will move first. So there will be an even amount of command cards on the card display. We will have the battle running until one side gets 6 banners, and there's no special rules. There are some terrain, there's some mountains here or hills, and then we have the trenches, and of course some impossible sea hexes in the Mediterranean Sea, and that's it. The rest is just plain here. So basically it's well, it's always nice to have no special rules. It's just a plain fight. So let's see about the armies. So let's start with the Romans this time. So we have on the very left here we have the Roman and Italian cavalry, 2 medium heavies, and then we have the legions here. So that will be, I think it's I'm not sure actually if it's how many legions there are present at this time here, but anyway, we have 5 units of medium heavy infantry here, being the Hastati and Principes, and then we have 2 Triari units here with Metellus attached to one of them, and then we have actually 2 leaders up here as well, who are unnamed leaders in this battle. We also have some Italian allies here, being these Auxilia, 3 units of them. And that's basically it on the main Roman army section here. Then we have the light units that Metellus put here in the ditches. So we have these Velite unit in the center, and then we have 2 bow units here, all well in range for well, creating a missile onslaught on these poor elephants coming here. So I guess when this battle starts, or this scenario starts, we are basically also already seeing the Romans have been provoking the elephants, rushed back to the ditches where other troops are waiting to just throw the javelins and firing arrows against those elephants, try to rout these lights. So we are, when the scenario starts, we are right in the action actually. If we're looking at the Carthaginian army, one thing is clear, that's a big difference here, which is kind of unusual, I'd say. We have Hasdrubal over there, but he's the only leader in the Carthaginian army actually, while the Romans have 3 leaders. So that's a big difference, and I'd say leaders are very, very important. So I mean, of course, this hit and some of the cards you can play having leaders so it's a really big difference, I'd say. Anyway, over here we have some Carthaginian cavalry, or back there, so that would be Greek mercenary cavalry, and then we have 2 lights, probably Numidians. In front of them we have some Cretan archers, not yet in range of the Roman army. Then we have some Balearic slingers here. We have, well, back there we have, with Hasdrubal we have a heavy infantry, and that's the Greek mercenary, the heavy hoplite troops they have, or phalanxes actually, that they Hasdrubal brought here. So there are mercenaries, and here we have some Libyan, the medium heavies here, I mean Libyan spear or Libyan phalanx troops, you could say. And then we have on the flanks back here 2 Iberian troops represented by these auxiliaries. And then in front of them we have, well, we have the slingers, and then we have 2 warrior units, so these would be Gauls and Ligurians probably. Then we have some Libyan, no, not Libyan, probably Numidian javelin throwers. And then we have the elephants in the front here. So, I mean, also the Carthaginian army is pretty strong, I'd say. I mean, they have some good quality troops there. So they could, for sure, put up a good match against the Romans. But the crucial thing is what will happen with the elephants, because if the elephants can participate in the main fight, then the Romans will have a hard time, I'm sure of that. So we really need for the Romans to get rid of those elephants. Let's see if they can do that, and also do a swift attack here. So as you hear, I'm already talking about tactics here. So the Romans try to, as in history, make those elephants to panic, and then the army should march up as fast as possible and gather those 6 banners we need. For the Carthaginians, I guess we'd like to get the elephants into safety, and that's not easy to do. I mean, it's very crowded here, so should we move them backwards or should we move them sidewards against the main Roman army? I don't really know. I think I'll opt for going sideways. The bad thing with that is we are moving in front of our own army, so if the lights continue to fight or fire from here, we might panic with those elephants. So at the same time, when I move the elephants, I need to attack these guys. And who should do that? Well, we could skirmish with our lights, but I'm also thinking maybe we should detach the warriors to scare those guys away and save our elephants. So maybe we should open up a gap here and let the warriors do their work. They will probably not catch these guys, but they can scare them away, and we can hopefully get our elephants into safety. And then, of course, to win the battle, we need to face the Roman main army here. So if we can get the elephants, if we can get some cavalry into the fight here, that would be good. But it's notable that for once our cavalry force on the Carthaginian side is not as strong as the Roman. The Romans actually got 2 of the mediums. We got 1 medium and 2 light. So we are not superior in cavalry. I'd say maybe the Romans are, especially when they have the leader also. So it's not a cavalry fight that the Carthaginians are seeking this time, but a clash with the main army is probably supported by the elephants. Then we can win the day for the Carthaginians. So let's see which of the tactics will be successful this time. So by that, we're ready to start the battle. Oh, and by the way, I'm trying out a bit of a different layout on my table here, keeping all the assets on this side, the dice, the cards, and all the blocks, the victory banner blocks, and so forth. So hopefully it will be a little less of camera movement and motion sickness for you guys. I don't need to go, you know, from side to side with the camera as much as previously. Let's see how it goes. I don't know where to put the dead guys, but let's see, over there perhaps. So yeah, let's try that out and start the game. Now it's the Romans who start first in this scenario, so we're gonna reveal the A and B section cards or slots, and we have a line command there, and we have a coordinated attack. So let's see, what we would really like to see is darken the sky here. That would be the really great thing to do. Maybe also a light troops would be nice. But I mean, the line command, if we get that activated, we could use that actually over here right now. I think it's worth it. But let's see, we don't know what cards the Romans are able to play at. So you're gonna roll. Okay, it's an A and B, or B, I mean. So I think I'll actually go with the line command then, and I'm gonna sacrifice that card to bring this line into action, right? So we want to get those elephants now. So who should we attack then? Well, a nice thing would be maybe to attack this elephant, because if that gets to panic, he will also trample the other elephants and the lights behind it. On the other hand, it would be also nice to attack this unit, because if that starts to retreat, those guys will start losing blocks, because these guys cannot retreat, and I mean that's a more valuable unit to get some blocks from, I guess, that warrior. So both these are tempting targets, not this one, because that just can retreat away and don't cause any additional damage to the Carthaginian army by that. So let's see, I think I go for the middle one first at least. So let's start over here. That bow unit start firing maybe fire arrows, I don't know, against that elephant. So it's 2 dice, and the optimal result would be a red and a flag. We got the flag, and that's amazing. So let's see, there's something with the, I mean, first of all, they're gonna trample, but also there is some other damage happening because they cannot retreat. Here it is, elephant retreat blocked. The elephant does not take a loss. The 2 blocking units will take 1 loss each. So this means actually that both light units will take an additional loss. But first of all, we're gonna roll, was it 1 or 2 dice for the trample rampage? 2 dice actually. So 2 dice. Let's do it clockwise. So we start with that elephant. So if we roll a red, that elephant takes losses as well. No, survived. Let's take the first median javelin thrower. No greens. The second one, no greens. And then we also have that last elephant to try to, let's see if there's any trampling effect happening there. Nope. So actually these were kind of calm, but now the problem is their retreat block is, the path is blocked, so these guys take 1 damage each. So that's it, and these elephants just stays there then. So these guys are done. Then we have the velites. They will throw the javelins against the same target. Let's see. Another flag. So they need to retreat again. Remember, elephants cannot take support from any other units. That's why every flag counts here. So let's do the same thing. First elephants to the left of it. No hits. Then we have the first light unit. No trampling there. Second light unit. No trampling. And the last elephant. And there's a hit. So this means this elephant actually took a hit now. Okay, we are seeing some effect of these the Roman tactics here that Metellus so cleverly put up. So we're gonna fire with the third one actually at the same target. No, it's one thing we need to do still, and that's taken out another block from these two who blocks the elephant from retreating. So these guys are really getting trampled now by the elephants panicking there. So here comes the third fire against that same unit. And this time they were not successful, so that was a miss. So all in all, pretty good. I mean, we got away one block there and 2 blocks each from the lights behind it. So a good initial Roman turn there. Replace the card, and then it's the Carthaginians, and we're gonna see what cards they have in slot A and B first. So we have 3 units left. That could be good. And then we have a mounted charge. Let's see. Okay, but they got a C, D or E, meaning they cannot play any of these cards. So let's see what we have here. We have an outflanked. Okay. We have a medium troops. Well. And then we have 2 units left. Okay, so we could actually do 2 units left. We could activate the mediums with, and that would get our warriors charging, but we can only reach one of them with that card. I mean, one of the warriors could reach that hex and attack one of the lights here. Or we do the outflank. That would be 2 here and 2 here. Well, I would like to get the elephants into safety, that's for sure. I'm even thinking maybe we should retreat with those guys and then maybe move up one of these. I think I'll do that. So I will, at this point of time, play the 2 units left. Okay. And that would be 2 elephant units, these guys and these guys. So this will actually just retreat now. We don't want that second hit on those guys and give the Romans a banner, so we're gonna move that away, and we move that also away but sideways, putting ourselves in front of the main army here. Well, we still are very in a bad position with that elephant, but that cannot be fixed this turn, so the Romans could continue firing at that unit. Let's see. Anyway, that was it. We replaced the Roman card then. Oops. Sorry, Carthaginian card, and then it's the Romans. Okay, C or lowest order count, yeah. So we're gonna pull up C then. Okay, so it's one of these two basically. And since I want to continue against those elephants, I think I go for the coordinate attack, because that gives me an activation on the right flank. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And we just order one of the units. And in the center section, is there anything we want to do? Maybe we could take our chances to throw some javelins against that elephant with a unit here. And what to do here on the left flank? Well, should we move up some cavalry or? I mean, we could go crazy and attack those bow units, but they will just evade and then I get counterattacked, so that will not be a good thing, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to do on this flank actually. Move up the cavalry, but to where? Let's put it here then. We have two in range of that guy. That's, well, I don't really know if that was anything good, but let's put these guys actually here. We're preventing those elephants from charging our Hastati here by that, and these guys will just stay put. So let's go to the combat phase, and let's start here with the auxiliaries. The Italian allies will throw their javelins against that elephant. These guys are brave, but they missed. And then we're gonna fire with the bows against that elephant with 2 dice. And we missed them. That was bad, because now the Carthaginians maybe can scare off these guys if they manage to pull through that order mediums. Let's see. But anyway, we did what we could with the cards we had. So let's go with the Carthaginians then. That would be on D or E, so they can indeed order the mediums, or they can order light troops. Okay. But you know what, I'm gonna go with the mediums this time. Because I need to scare off those guys now. That's the important part. Take control of these ditches. So we could also start moving up these units from behind, and even move up the cavalry. That's 5 units, and that's the command card count we have, so 5 units it is. And these guys, the Gauls, will now charge the ramparts. And these guys move into the gap. Like that. And that medium heavy cavalry, well, we cannot reach any enemy. But let's put ourselves in charge range of that auxilia. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do that. So now we're threatening that auxilia with these guys. And these guys are not supported, so they should really beware. So, for some combat then. So, if we would stay put here with the lights, that could be dangerous. There's no dice reduction for the ramparts terrain. The only thing, we can ignore 1 flag, and we can ignore 1 sword symbol up here from close combat. So those will still throw 4 dice, and they hit with the green and from the second rolled sword symbol as well. But you know what, there's no reason actually to stay here, so we're gonna evade, or try to evade. Let's roll first. So it's 4 dice, and yeah, let's see what happens. They need greens. No greens rolled, so these guys got away. And the same applies here. We're gonna evade. Let's see if the Velites is as quick as their comrades. No, they got one of these guys were caught, and the rest will evade away. I got up to the mountains. Okay, but this was a primary mission for these warriors right now. There's still one annoying one here who can do the range combat, and that's really dangerous. We don't want to see that happen, but let's see. Okay, that's that, and let's see what the Romans can do then. It's a C, D, or E. Okay, so it's 2 units center, another 2 units center, or the rally. So this time the center is gonna be played, and we take it from slot C, I guess. 2 units center, okay. Too bad we couldn't activate that guy. But you know, here we're gonna throw the javelins against that elephant. I mean, the elephant is really still the main targets here. And we're gonna actually put these guys... Let's put them up on the mountains, let's keep them there. So these guys can also fire against that elephant. Okay, so let's start with a bow unit. It's 1 die because they moved. And that's a miss. It was a leader symbol. And then the auxiliary will throw their javelins. And that's a hit. Gosh. These elephants are really having hard times here in front of their own army. So it's the Carthaginians again. A, B or C. So it's 3 units left, mounted charge or outflanked. And should we go crazy with a mounted charge perhaps? We could get in those elephants in some heavy fighting here. And also our cavalry. That elephant could actually charge those lights there now. And we could even pour in our lights to do a 3 dice attack against that medium. He's not, you know, supported. Yeah, maybe we should play the mounted charge now. We get that extra die, it's worth something. So up to 5 mounted troops. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these elephants will now charge up here. Maybe we should not put ourselves in range for that Velite unit, so let's just go here. These elephants will go there. These will go there, the medium heavy cavalry. And the lights, well, they will put themselves in some danger, but they will take the chances. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can do some damage on those Roman cavalry there. And let's start here. So that would give me from the beginning 2 dice, but 3 because we have the mounted charge going on here. So should we evade or should we stay put? 3 dice. We can ignore 1 sword symbol, but sword symbols will though be rolled again, you know, by elephants. I think I'll evade actually. So let's let those elephants roll 3 dice. They missed us, so we got away. Those guys stay there. Then we continue from here. We're gonna attack that auxiliary unit. And we have 3 from the beginning, but a 4th from the card, so it's 4 dice, and that's really good. And auxiliary can of course not evade, so they need to stay and fight it out. So let's see, that's 2 hits against the auxiliary, who will turn their spears against the charging cavalry and battle back with 3 dice. They're not adjacent to a leader, but they got the flag, so these guys need to retreat. So they're bouncing back 1, 2, 3 from where they come, and I'm happy with that. Here we're probably going to see an exchange, but my hope is to eliminate these guys now and then get another charge against the Hastati before this elephant goes down, so we at least get something from losing that elephant unit. So normally I would get 3 dice, but a 4th from the mounted charge. Let's see. And remember, swords are rerolled, so this could gather up some good amount of hits with a bit of luck. But we already killed that auxiliary with a flank elephant charge here. That was too much for these guys. They just scatter and disappear. So we got actually the first Carthaginian victory banner by that. Good elephant charge. Let's put them there on top of the card display, like that. And then these guys can go in and attack again. And now it's getting really dangerous for the Romans. These guys, well, they can take 2 flags. That's their narrow luck here, because they have a leader and they're supported. Otherwise, they are, they don't have any retreat paths here. So, but this time we'll get 5 dice, because we get 4 from the beginning for the elephant attacking Hastati, and then we get the 5th from the mounted charge. So these could be pretty deadly, but if we fail, I fear that elephant is dead. Let's see. Okay, this is interesting. We got not a single hit, but they can only ignore 2 flags, One for the leader, one for being supporting. The third one they need to take. So these guys actually move, or we need to remove 1 block because of that. And we're also gonna check the fate of that leader, because if that leader falls, then these 2 flags also applies. So here's a pretty important roll. No, it's 2 of these. Should have been 2 leaders. So the Hastati stayed put. They were able to hold the ground. I mean, probably the elephant got most of its momentum in that direction, attacking that Italian ally in the flank. So it didn't really get the power anymore to penetrate through those Hastati lines. So they will now battle back with 4 dice. We have a leader with us, so that should spell the end for that elephant. Yeah, we got a hit. So these guys go down. Alright, that was some intense action there. And no, we're not ready yet, actually. We're gonna attack with our Numidians as well. So I think there's no ranged combat. No, we need to do all the battles in close combat. So let's start from here. That's no, let's start from here actually. It's 3 dice, 2 normally, but 1 from the mounted charge. These are though lights, so we will not hit with any sword symbols. So we really need to roll blue. Also flags will make them retreat, but let's hope we roll 3 blues. Well, we missed those guys completely actually. That was not good. So they will now battle back also with 3 dice. And they are adjacent to a leader. We rolled 3 leaders, so this Numidian goes down in 1 bang. Oh man. The Romans gather their first victory banner, so it's 1-1. Wow, that was sturdy Roman cavalry. But let's still do the second one. We got 3 dice again. Come on. This was good. Good roll by those Numidians. 2 flags. We cannot take even 1. So what happens now is we take the 1, or we can take 1 retreat though. 1, 2, 3 hexes. That's the first one. But then we need to retreat 3 hexes more for the second flag. And we cannot do that. So these guys rides out from the battlefields, and these guys get 1 more. Now, the big question is, should we dare to attack these ones? I mean, we could go in here and attack again, but you know what, I will not dare to do that, because these guys can ignore 2 flags and we will not kill them, and their battle back will be devastating. So we're actually gonna stay here. Be happy with that. But that was, well, it was an exchange, but in the end we lost as a Carthaginians 1 light, and the Romans are medium heavy, so maybe it was a good exchange for us anyway. And we are in the lead also. So that was a good one. Let's see, they're gonna get another card for slot B, and let's see how the Romans respond to this. So pretty intense action here. We have scared off all the lights from the ditches. We have having a great cavalry fight over here on the plains. The light Numidians doing the initial attack, they just bounced against those Romans and went away, bye bye. But the second, probably doing some flanking attack, hit the Romans on their soft spot and they just rode away from the battlefield. After putting up a good fight against that first onslaught. Really cool action here. So let's see. It's the Romans. So this would be face-up tactics card. That would be the rally or order lowest order count. So it's one of these two. But the rally is really not a good one. Well, we could get back these hastati, but that's one block, you know. So I'm not too eager of playing that right now. So let's play the 2 center then. And well, we cannot scare off those cavalry. These guys are staying put to their force here. But I wonder if ramparts are blocking line of sight. I need to check that, because otherwise we could order these guys, move them here and fire against those elephants. It's worth it. But I need to check if the ramparts are blocking line of sight or not, because in that case we cannot do it. So I'll check that and be back after that. Okay, so apparently ramparts does not block line of sight, so I will order one of these and then we can order one other troop. Let's start moving up, guys, from the second row here, some principes, and let's do the movement. These guys just move up here. And these guys move sideways there, and then fire against that elephant. Let's see if they're lucky. Nope, that was a leader symbol. So no hits against the elephants. And that's it. Carthaginians. A, B or C. So that will be 3 units left, already outflanked, or a double time. Okay, we could start closing in, but I wonder if we should put some more pressure against those lights. I think we could do that. They still can evade though, but you know, we are pressing them towards the edge here, and I can't see how their main army can help them out in the next turn in case they get pressured once more. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play actually the 3 units left, and that would be my strike force here with the elephants and Gauls. So these guys move there, these guys move there, and these guys, well, let's put them up here because I think I get 3 dice. Otherwise, if I go there and attack uphill, I only get 2 dice. I think I'm eligible to roll 3 dice from hill to hill. These guys will only get 2 dice. That's bad. We could even opt to fight here actually. Nah, probably not. We're not gonna be supported after the battle because we're gonna evade from those elephants. So okay, let's start. The elephant starts this charge. These guys will try to evade. So we get 2 dice from the elephants. They're hoping for greens. They got none. So the bow units got away. Then we got these guys attacking uphill, and we will evade once more. I can evade 1 hex in this system. There's some other Commands and Colors games when you cannot do the evade if you don't have 2 free hexes to evade to, but in Ancients you can actually evade 1 hex if it's not possible to evade 2 hexes, but only in that case. So in any way, so we got 2 dice from the Gauls, and the Velites will try to evade. And they successfully withdraw, like that. And then the last one, same thing, but this time the Gauls get 3 dice. And they hit with 1, so one of these bow blocks goes down, but then they disappear into the mountains. Like that. Okay. These guys are in a bit of panic here. We should move them, I guess, in the next turn, if possible, of course. Let's first give the Carthaginians another card, and actually I think this is enough for one session. It has been really fun so far. A lot of action happening here. Even some in the middle. We got the elephants running into the Roman lines here, causing some real damage. With a joint attack with a medium heavy cavalry, the Greek cavalry there, we should not forget about that, because we got that auxiliary killed and we also got some hits on these guys, but the elephants went down. And here we have seen some intense cavalry action, both sides losing 1 cavalry unit. So we are in a Carthaginian lead, 2-1 victory banners, and that's it for this time. Thanks for watching and see you in part 2. Bye bye.